Hi, today I wanted to share some key differences between a home inspection and a home appraisal. Now, an inspection is something that is not necessarily mandated. In other words, you don't have to get one done. However, it's really highly recommended that you get a home inspection done when you're purchasing a home. A home appraisal, on the other hand, is something that if you're getting financing, you more than likely are going to need an appraisal completed on the home. There are a few occasions where we get what's called a property inspection waivers and not need an appraisal. I'm not really going to get into too many details on that today. I'm just going to kind of stick with the differences between an inspection and an appraisal for today. But going with the inspection, let's start there first. On the inspection, what they're doing is they are evaluating the condition of the property. They're looking for any potential repairs or issues that the home currently has or could potentially have in the future. The home appraisal, however, is simply looking to set the market value of the home. The home inspector, when they go out there, they're looking at the physical condition of everything. They're looking at the roof. They're looking at the electrical, the plumbing, air conditioning, for example. They're looking at pool pumps, if there's a pool, things of that sort. The appraiser, however, they're doing an analysis of the homes that have sold in the area that are similar size, similar location, similar condition, and then doing various adjustments to those homes to determine what that market value is that we just talked about. In both cases, these are done by licensed individuals. You're going to want to hire a licensed home inspector to complete your home inspection. And then a home appraisal is definitely done by a licensed individual, and that gets handled through the lender. In other words, the lender hires the appraiser to go out and appraise your property. You're going to hire your home inspector, usually through either a referral from someone that you know or the advice of your realtor that you'll work. That's typically how you come in contact and work with that home inspector. Now, because of that, what we try to do on the lending side is allow you to get your inspection done, because those typically have to be done within the first 10 days of the contract, at least here in Arizona. And so we will make sure that you get that through that inspection before we necessarily order the appraisal, because the appraisal just has to be completed within the escrow period in order to allow us enough time to draw your documents and get you closed on time. So if possible, we hold off on getting that appraisal ordered until you're through the inspection, just so that you're not out the expense of both. In other words, you're going to pay for that inspection right away when you get it completed. And if there's a major issue that comes up during the inspection, a deal killer, if you will, we don't want you to be out the cost of the inspection plus out the cost of the appraisal. So whenever possible, we try and hold off on ordering that for you, just to, again, save you some time and money. Now, at the end of this, what's going to happen is the inspector is going to give you a very detailed report outlining everything that is potentially wrong with the home, any issues, condition of things, etc. And then based on that, you and your realtor can use that as a negotiating tool with the seller to either get them to repair things, replace things. In some cases, they may just do a credit towards your closing cost, and that's perfectly acceptable. Depending upon the loan type, will determine how much of a credit you can get, et cetera. The one thing that can't happen is they can't just simply give you a credit and give you money directly. It has to go towards your closing costs, or it has to be applied to the sales price to reduce the sales price. The appraisal, that is determined to make sure that you're meeting the market value of the home. In other words, if you're paying $500,000, we want to make sure that appraisal is coming in at least at $500,000, so that when we're lending against it, we're lending what we can against the home. If for any reason the appraisal comes in low, we would have to potentially adjust your loan amount accordingly. So as you can see, both of these reports, both of the inspection and the appraisal, both of them are very critical in the overall buying process with purchasing your first home or maybe your second or third home, right? So it's very important for that overall process. And so I hope today I've been able to share some information with you that is helpful. And if so, please do us a favor and subscribe to our page here. Please feel free to share this with anyone else that you think might benefit. We would greatly appreciate that. And of course, if you have any questions regarding inspections, regarding appraisals, just regarding the overall mortgage process, feel free to call us or text us at any time. We're always here to assist you. We look forward to hearing from you soon. You have a great day. Bye-bye.